Okay. So we're going to be doing our deadlifts today. I wrote stiff leg deadlifts. That's kind of, and I'll explain the difference between a Romanian deadlift versus a stiff leg. It's okay if it doesn't quite make sense, but we'll do our best. Um, but to start, we're going to be doing our quadruped fire hydrants. We're doing 8 per side. 16 glute bridge marches. If the marching piece themselves, so keeping the hips off the ground, is too challenging, 16 glute bridges is fine. An 8 per side, single leg variation. You can kind of build into the march. Sometimes I find, especially with 3 sets of this, right off the bat, a glute bridge march is quite intense for me. So I will often do glute bridges and then work my way towards a glute bridge march, depending on the time of day you're meeting. But if you're here at 6:08, it's rude. So it's okay to do some variation of a glute bridge,
All right.
but 16 or 8%.
Okay.
And then 8 per side side plank rotations, which we've done plenty of, but I'll make sure we're all on the same page. 3 sets of that. So multiples of 8. So 8 per side or 16 total. I guess multiple 16, whatever.
Okay.
From there, we're doing 4 sets of 8 per side stiff leg deadlifts. I apologize. 8 stiff leg deadlifts, not per side, depending on the weight you have. And I'll explain what I mean. So if you have lighter weights, um, or weights that aren't heavy enough for a 2-footed deadlift, we can go per side.
Okay.
If you have something heavy enough, or weights, plural, heavy enough, or a bag of books, it's okay to go with 2 feet. So the per side's based on what weights you have available to you. Heavier, 2-footed, lighter, like don't quite get it, we can go to single leg. Okay. So 8 total or 8 per side, depending on what you have available. And then 12 alternating lateral lunges. So sidestepping. If you don't like sidestepping, backward step, forward step, but side is a good starting point if that's possible. And then 6 push-ups. We're going to add in a row if possible, on the right and left side. Okay. After each push-up. You may rest between push-ups, of course.
Okay.
And we have some goblet squats and some T raises and dead bugs, just sort of some finishers at the end. And I'll be more specific. It's also listed later, so you're welcome to read through it.
Okay.
Let's start with cat cows, bird dogs, anything that feels good this morning or whatever time you're doing this. And then we'll go from there. I'll turn on overhead light.
All right.
It's a little overcast, so. As far as number of cat cows, I do about 10-ish, right? That's a guideline just for feel. Range of motion is relative to the athlete, so be big. Yeah, it's okay if you're off camera for a bit. I know, especially with the floor stuff. It's okay if we need to. It's fine if you're not exactly visible.
Okay.
10-ish. For
Okay.
the bird dogs, I'm more interested in extending the leg and kind of stabilizing the pelvis. But if you would like to, adding an arm is fine. As in the opposite. So left leg back, right hand forward. You can either stay on one side, do 5, on one side, right? Doing total 10. Or if you prefer to alternate, it's okay to alternate. It's up to you, right? Um, as long as roughly 10 are completed. Imagine a glass of water on your low back when you do the bird dog, and it shouldn't move too much. A yoga block's actually a great tool. It's light, it's not going to hurt you, but you can feel it wiggling around if you wiggle around. Okay, 90s. Feet are about shoulder width-ish. You drop the knees to one side. We're just for a gentle stretch of the hips. So if you're not loving this, find something else. Figure four can work. Same thing, 10 total. If you want to add a little leans or belly button towards your knee, that's fine. We're adding a stretch to that bottom, in this case, my right glute, usually. But that lean isn't necessary for everybody. This is meant to be gentle. So that's not gentle. Don't worry about it. I do tend to lean back on this one. So from the side, I tend to, when I transition, I tend to lean back. It's just a personal choice. If you are someone who prefers a little more of a low back feedback, you like low back flexion, right? That feels nice. Totally fine. It's more a matter of taste. If you're having low back pain, this inflection, rounding your back, causes pain. You might want to consider leaning backwards. So there's not a right or a wrong on that one. It's a matter of what you can tolerate and what feels good. Also, if you're more flexible. So if your hips are not quite as tight as mine, you might not have a as hard a time. And if you can, let's go without shoes or flat shoes. Your running shoes are going to make this very, very hard because you add like half an inch of shoe to maneuver.
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah, if you have a padded shoe, you're making that whole thing just a little more challenging, which is not bad, but something to note. Um, hey, yeah, already started. Bordering arm circles next. Okay, so you can kneel or stand. I'm just kneeling for convenience. So thumbs are up. We're making concentric circles progressively bigger relative to the arm. Once you complete 10, including your little circles, come back to around 90. You can even start a little lower. If you need to start lower. Um, that's okay too. And your arms can make different sized circles. We know we have ranges of motion we need to not touch. It's okay to avoid those. Okay. Next one is forward and back. This is all pretty passive. This one I'm not really pushing past what feels too difficult. Little cross. Give yourself a hug. Good. Okay, let's go thumbs down next. Thumbs are down. Pick a direction. This one I tend to start somewhere between 90 and 45 degrees, depending on how I'm feeling, because it's this up and over part that people can struggle with. So starting lower gives you couple more degrees of relief before starting to make those circles bigger, basically. And of course, the opposite direction, backwards, or the opposite of what you just did.
Okay.
I'm going to add one more thing that we've done before, which is the adductor, so adduction, right? The inside of your legs, rock backs. So from the front, right? I'm in a tabletop position. My leg comes out to the side, and I can either turn my foot up for more or keep it down for less. If this is a stretch, maybe we stay here, okay? If it's not, I'm going to show you my opposite hip. You're going to gently lean back, right? So if this hold is enough, like, whew, thank you, that's okay. We're looking for this. If you're like, it's fine, you can either gently rock back, doing this 8 times per side, or like that's not enough, you can rotate the foot up. Both are fine for me, but I'm okay with something a little more gentle for now. So I don't need a crazy, it's more just a check-in. How are we feeling kind of from knee to groin? Because especially those lateral steps, our ability to step sideways and stabilize um, kind of hinges on our ability to access this part of our body too, not just our butt and our hips. Once you have 8-ish, we'll
Okay.
switch.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely done 8-ish. All right.
Ish. Yeah. And you're going to notice side to side differences. Like I'm sort of shocked that my left side's stiff. I mean, like maybe just look at, but sensation wise, it has more feedback for me. Um, which is fine. I wouldn't have, I guess, noticed that. It's also okay if you, so my left leg's out to the side, and I'm feeling my left adductor. It's okay to feel the opposite glute and hip, right? So my right one gets a little bit of feedback too. That's fine. I don't mind. That's all feeling, I would say, appropriately challenging. So let's, since we're already on our tabletop, let's just kind of stay near the floor, right? Step one, right? We're beginning the activation piece. 8 per side, quadruped, so tabletop, basically, fire hydrants, right? So that's our, from the front view, tabletop, fire hydrant, right? Side, the opposite hip. What I'm not doing is rotating my pelvis to the point where it's opening the hip. It's really about activating, stabilizing on the stabilizing leg, and then engaging that lateral with this part of your glutes. So I'm not looking for height. I'm looking for a lateral range of motion without a tilt to the side, which is less than you might think for a lot of us. 8%.
And so the foot goes up too, and not just the knee.
Yeah, your foot and knee can come up. It's just I don't want, so forgive the analogy, but you shouldn't look or feel like a Pomeranian.
All
I
right.
think, or a little dog. I think we all know what we're right? So I don't need this.
Yeah.
My foot and knee still come up.
Okay.
I'm just not tilting or leaning onto my
Okay.
loaded leg.
All right. Okay. 8 each side. Okay.
Correct.
Next. Okay.
Next. Glute bridges or glute bridge. I would say so. If you need to start with glute bridges,
Okay.
fine. It's totally respectable. I get it. We're gonna look at so glute bridges, right? Pretty simple. Belly breaks, squeeze your butt before you lift. And lift your hips. We do 16 of these first.
Okay.
Option B, more of a single leg variation, so a kickstand or a full leg lift. So you have a kickstand or a leg lift. That'd be 8 per side. And as written or intended, glutes stay lifted. 1, 2, 16. Well, like I said, that can be kind of rough in the first thing or right after work. So if it needs to be glute bridges first, that's okay. Just keep the hips off of the ground as much as possible. So the march is not about the knee to your chest. It's about keeping your opposite glute engaged and lifted. So if you can't do that, let's work on that instead of knee to chest. Because knee to chest tends to tilt you downwards.
Okay.
Okay, finally, 8 per side. side plank rotations. So side plank position, whether you have a bottom knee down or you are, you know, it's a long lever, extend the legs. Shoulder, I know a big sweatshirt is over the elbow. I'm making a fist because I want to. I'm going to find my side plank position. I'm going long lever today. My hands over my shoulder. I'm going to reach under my armpit without rotating my hips, so I feel it in my lats, and then back. So if you wear a sports bra, about where the sports bra hits you on your rib cage, unless you wear those big long tank ones. All right, so more traditional style sports bra. You don't. Kind of top of your rib cage. That sensation. We're not letting the pelvis rotate down because you'll start to feel off balance. That's too far. A
Okay.
side plank hold is fine here. If we can't do a side plank hold, we're looking for a lat engagement, basically.
All right.
Good.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I wrote 3 sets. Let's do at least two.
Okay. All right. Well,
And then
that was
we'll see how if three is even necessary. If you're like, that feels great, let's do three. Good.
okay. That was one.
Now we do two.
Okay. Two more. And don't be a Pomeranian. All
I mean, I think if you're doing that intentionally, that's one thing.
right.
If you're not doing that without knowing it, it's another. And just understanding you're not getting the same
Okay.
activation of this sort of lateral hip and glute. You're getting more spinal rotation, which is not bad, but I think it takes more skill and control to do less here than it does to do more. All right. This is one actually, if you have like a little therapy, like, those PT bands, the very light ones, or the ones you can tie off so you can adjust the tension a little bit, can be used for good feedback. But sometimes if band's too heavy or too resistant, it's too thick, it can actually be a bit of distraction. So something that if you want to use it, great. Just if it's feeling too hard, it probably is. Nice. And that side plank can be done from the knee, by the way, if that needs to be the
Yeah.
case.
Thank you. I am.
Yeah, like I usually actually go from the knee, especially when warming up. I'm like, warming up. But adding the longer leg version definitely has, I think, can be appropriately challenging.
Okay. All right. Okay. Back to, all right.
Or
Starting,
top or quadruped. I don't know what you
yeah,
call it. Fire hydrants.
starting third set. Okay.
Third and final. Yeah.
All right.
Let's start with the familiar things today. Um, oh, no, sorry, Risa. Continue. I apologize. You can finish off your glute bridges and your side planks. That okay sounded very final. You're like, whew.
Oh,
Good. Final
yeah.
set of side plank rotations. And no, Reese, you're doing great. You don't have to, you can just, if you want for this other side, you can just turn over.
Oh,
Like,
all right.
it's okay if you don't face the camera. For these, I realize, especially when we're doing plank things, side plank things, it's okay if we were in person, I would just walk around and meet you there, but it's okay just to do what you gotta do. It's fine.
All right. Turning away then. All right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay to want to face the camera, but you don't need to face the camera.
All right.
So,
Okay. All right.
well-deserved break. So we're just gonna go over some movements, make sure you feel good about them, and then roll right into this next piece. We're gonna go from the top, bottom of the list to the top, so ending with our first movement, because it's the one that we haven't explicitly covered yet. So we'll go familiar to less familiar, basically. Um, so push-ups. At this point, I hope we all have some version of a pushing shape that we can tolerate, whether we're lifting our hands. I don't have the object here, but let's say on a table or on a workbench or something. If we don't have those options, using your knees is fine. Okay. If you do use your knees, however, and I'll take off my sweatshirt because you can't see. Um, I want you to make sure your butt stays squeezed. So if we are going to use the knees, I'm fine with that. But I want to avoid a push that looks like this. See this gap?
Uh,
So I want the butt squeezed. And that gap, I have a little gap because I have to tight, but are much smaller. Okay? So that's totally fine if we're doing push to the knees. Just your butt's in the air or you have low back pain, probably because your butt's not squeezed. Okay? We are going to add, if you feel up for it, a row on each side. Now I happen to have two dumbbells. If you don't have two dumbbells, that's okay. I'll explain what you can do instead. And if you have a kettlebell, I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm about to do unless you're very good at push-ups and hand balancing. So I'm going to do my push-ups here, right? So I'm going to do my push-up. At the end of each push-up, I'm going to row right and left. I'll just, right? So I'm going to go into my plank shape because I want to, right? Come down to the edge of my dumbbells, right? And then I'm going to row my left hand, row with my right hand. Okay. So remember that Pomeranian idea, we're not rotating the hips. When I'm pulling with one hand, even let's say I only have one dumbbell, okay? If I'm pulling with my left hand, my right hip is actively resisting rotating up. Um, so my slight overcorrection for myself, I tend to rotate or just gently rotate my right hip downwards just a little. We're connecting basically this hand to this hip and this foot. That's the idea. So from the side, so I'm pulling. So if I only have one, right? Can move the dumbbell across and two. And my feet are a little wider than normal. So I'm doing 6 of those. You may take a break within those 6 reps, but those one rep is a push-up, row right, row left, even for moving the dumbbell. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So Reese, you don't have to do these things because we're reviewing them.
Oh, Oh,
This is the bottom of the list, not the top of the list. I
oh,
mean,
right.
you can count this as round one, but the
Okay.
point is we're going from the bottom of our workout list because it's more familiar.
Okay.
You do the count this as round one, that's fine. Lateral alternating, lateral lunges. Um, your width is not important, okay? What is you can tolerate. Remember that adductor piece. You're going to step to the side, lunge, hips are going backwards if you feel inclined. Like I said, right? So because we're alternating, I would have a weight in each hand. When I step to one direction, if you want to add weight, that is, keep the weight over a leg you're lunging on. Okay. If you don't want weight, you want to add weight. You want to add one weight? I would say non-alternating, meaning 6 this way, and then 6 that way. But starting unweighted here is perfectly reasonable.
Okay. I have weights. Okay.
Okay, finally, the one we haven't done before. We've done Romanian deadlifts, we've done deadlifts, we've done all sorts of stuff. A stiff leg deadlift is all about your hamstrings. So Romanian glutes, hamstrings. Deadlift from the ground, glutes, hamstrings, quads, calves, more whole body. Okay. So if we need to default to Romanian deadlift, totally fine by me. If you want to remember hamstring emphasis, so the insertion of your butt into behind your knee, that this is one of those take some time to play with. So just it's okay to be patient. We're gonna have less flexion, movement, or closing of the hip. And I'm gonna use one dumbbell, but you can certainly go one on each side. That feels more appropriate. So typically my Romanian deadlift looks like this, right? As we normally do. Hips move backwards, right? And then I come back up. Make sense? Normally this, and range of motion is relative, but this is my Romanian. I have a pretty deep, I have a more reasonable amount of hip flexion. When I stiff leg deadlift, I want my feet hip width, and I mean hip bones, not your butt. Okay? So not the width of your butt, skeletally, your hips. Okay? So, which my colleague had to point out to me the other day. She's like, where are your hips? I was like, this. She goes, no, your hip bones. I was like, different. So my stance is actually
Oh,
here.
okay.
Whereas my brain's like, do that. Okay. So think where your hip bones are if you're a school skeleton and put your feet under there. From there, I'm going to send my hips go back, but I'm emphasizing my hamstrings. I stop there. I feel it insert here, a little less here, any more weight, but my hips are not as flexed as my Romanian. So Romanian, stiff. I stand up. Now I have a tendency to move my dumbbell out because I'm fairly flexible. So for sensation, I tend to move my dumbbell away from me.
Oh,
If you're not flexible, it's okay to have a dumbbell closer to you. Does that make sense? I
okay.
say that to Arisa, but
Okay.
so if you're someone who could touch your toes, you're this guy, right? 6 a.m. Okay,
Uh-huh.
great. You're gonna want to move depending on the weight you're picking up, just slightly, couple degrees forward, assuming we don't have any back stuff.
Whoa.
Okay. If you are worried about your back, the weight you have, you're like, oh, I'm not sure. Keep it close at first, like we do our Romanian. So over your feet.
Okay.
And then if it not quite getting it, you can maybe half an inch forward. Okay, so be gentle with this one. But you're doing 8 reps total.
Okay.
Okay.
And I should feel it in my glutes,
We're looking for hamstring.
hamstrings. Okay.
If look, this one's going to take a while to get used to. So if you happen to accidentally hit a Romanian deadlift, I'm not upset. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going a little further back and I feel it more in my hamstrings now. Okay.
So instead of going further back with your hips, move your weight forward,
Huh.
forward, forward, forward. There it is.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah, hamstrings, right? So, and like you probably, it's hard to see, I know, because it's looking for your face.
Okay.
But if you're watching the video where your hands moving just forward, like right here, this much, right? Maybe an inch or two. Yeah.
Eh,
But again, that degree of deviation from a plumb line of your arm straight down, like you normally do, is going to be based on the athlete.
Okay.
Very clear about that. So it's okay if you need to be less forward, especially if your hamstrings are already pretty stiff, you'll get more feedback. If you're a little more flexible in the hamstring, having that weight move slightly forward, again, grain of salt on that one, can often increase input in a helpful way. I know we did that all backwards reset, right? So
Yeah.
we start from the bottom up.
Okay.
I want you to take a minute of rest, grab
Okay.
some water, and start back at the deadlifts and work your way down.
Okay.
So in the order we plan to do it.
All right.
Okay?
And then the deadlifts is where we tried. I'm trying to do heavier. So this is where I would use heavier.
Technically, yes,
Okay.
but given that it's a different movement, it's okay if we kind of, I want a weight that gives you information.
Okay.
So if you're like, you know what, my 10-pound weight feels like it's enough because we're removing muscle groups. We start from a deadlift from the ground up is technically a whole body movement if you have enough load. Quads, calves, feet, hips, lats, shoulders, whatever. It's all that.
Okay.
As that's assuming it's heavy enough. As we say, okay, Romanian, don't bend the knees. Just move the hips back. Okay, now that's glutes and hamstrings and little erectors, kind of low back sometimes. And now like, no, 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 no. No glutes, just hamstrings. We are constraining you to less muscle groups. So your load by default gets smaller, relatively speaking. So if I can deadlift 200 pounds, my Romanian deadlift is, I don't know, 100 and something. And then I've actually, honestly, I've not done a loaded, like a heavy loaded stiff leg deadlift. I'm starting them, but very slowly. So I'm doing a 40-pound kettlebell right now. Like, so it's all relative to how many muscles you're using. So that just gives you a sense of scale,
Okay.
regardless of whether you deadlift 200 pounds or not. It's not important. It's less than your deadlift. It's even less than your Romanian deadlift, unless you are a hamstring dominant person, which
All right. 8.
is possible. If you are using two dumbbells, yeah,
And so, all right.
nice job. Still want to keep that brace, right?
All right.
Brace the
Yeah.
belly.
Definitely feeling it in my hamstrings.
Good. And we need to reduce the volume. I already said 4 sets of 8,
Okay.
which I've been able to tolerate. But if that feels like, ooh, yeah, it feels like a lot. I'm coming back from, I don't know, a reasonable hiatus or maybe just a chunk of time where you're emphasizing your racing. So in terms of total volume and load of weightlifting, it's okay to do sets of 6, for example, right? Or do 3 rounds of deadlifts and 4 rounds of the other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. But modify the volume.
All right.
Okay, 12 alternating lateral lunge steps. Weight is welcome, but certainly not a requirement for these lateral steps.
Okay.
If if sideways stepping is a little dodgy, even unweighted, it's okay to practice different direction stepping. respecting that inseam, right? That adductor,
Okay.
right? So we're not going to go beyond what it can tolerate and then what that loaded leg can do. This is second or third set?
Second.
Second. Okay. And we're resting after the push-ups, right? So minute, grab water, whatever.
Okay.
If I would say a substitution for your push-up in rows, let's say you don't have dumbbells or the dumbbells you have are not appropriately weighted. So 10 pounds for me is plenty. You don't have anything less. It's okay to do shoulder taps instead or a hip tap. So touch the side of your leg. So you're picking your hand up off the ground, and either touching the shoulder or touching the same thigh. Good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that two? Oh, just two. Okay. All right.
Let's check in at 3. So do your third set of reset, see how you're feeling,
Okay.
and we can sort of decide based on time remaining.
Mm-hmm.
But today was a little more explanation heavy. I want to acknowledge that. So finish, go through your third round, rest if you need to, and then let's see if how you where you want to go with that. So at least 3 sets.
Okay. All right. I'm scaling up and I'm trying a little bit heavier. All right.
Okay. Less hip. Yeah. I know it
Oh,
sounds weird.
all
More
right.
hamstring.
Oh, yeah.
Hamstring, 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 hamstring. Yep.
Yes. Definitely notice a difference. All right.
And you're gonna feel, hopefully feel in both insertion points, both the glutes, so into the glutes, and
Yes.
potentially into the back of the knee.
It's like from the glutes on down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are gonna be, and I will say, I should have said this before, if you're gonna run, do it today.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
do it tomorrow.
All
Or
right.
if you do it tomorrow, check your hamstrings first.
Okay.
Okay.
I will need to check my schedule. I can't remember what I have next today.
Okay. I mean, basically, I wouldn't, it's not don't run tomorrow. It's just make sure you know your hamstrings are prepared tomorrow.
Okay.
So you don't often isolate the hamstrings this specifically. Um, if you have almost no fatigue, cool. If you have some, that's fine. Um, like I said, make good choices.
All right. I think I've
32 reps in the grand scheme of things is not the biggest amount of volume.
okay.
25 to 32 reps is pretty reasonable
Okay.
if we're looking for like a strength training perspective. So, but if you're not that person, then make good choices. Think total volume, what feels like an appropriate choice. your row can be done from a plank shape. So if you're using your knees for the push-up, come
Oh,
back to a plank position, row.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's easier than using my knees,
Okay.
personally. But maybe I don't know, maybe you have a different experience than me. But I feel like a row, especially with load from the knees, can be a little constrained for me. Whereas if I straighten my legs, I get some calves, some quads, some glutes. Um, have an easier time engaging my glutes with the legs straight than legs bent. Um, Particularly when I'm trying to stabilize in a row.
Okay. Okay. That's
That was three. How you
three.
feeling? Enough? It's not a trick question.
Okay. I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
call three enough.
Oh,
Okay. For today. If you want to do four, future use. Good.
okay.
Okay. A lot of this was to um, depending on how you feel, so between the stiff leg deadlifts, your lateral lunges, loaded or otherwise, and on top of that, a push up with a row is very neurologically heavy, right? Neurologically, your brain's going, your body going, it's like it's a lot of load on the brain, or it can be. So if you're feeling fatigued, both mentally and physically, that's fine. Depends on your skill level and your comfort with these things. It's okay to do 3 sets instead of four. I just wanted to give the option for four in case someone's like, three's not quite enough. Finally, um, we're gonna do up to 3 sets. We'll see what we have time for. 15 goblet, so one weight, sumo, slightly wider stance, squats.
Okay.
Okay. I'll show you that in a second. 15 prone, so belly button down. T raises. We've done T raises with light weights or unweighted. It's a shoulder and yeah, shoulder, upper back would be general about it. Exercise. And 12 dead bugs. Okay. Dead bugs can be weighted, or honestly, pick an core exercise of your choice. If you don't want dead bugs, I'm not a huge fan of sit-ups, but go for a sit-up. I don't care. Something that makes you feel like your core's activated. Um, it can even be a hold. We did a lot of planking already, but if you want to do a plank hold or hollow hold, also works. So let's talk about these sumo squats. Basically, I want you taking a wider stance than what you normally take. So start with where you squat from and take a step to the side. If that's not wide enough, do more. Again, you have a little more adductor and glute stuff. So we're kind of hitting the same muscle groups, but now in a squat shape. So I have my dumbbell, show you my feet more than my upper body, okay? So my squat stance is normally here. I'm gonna squat here. So this is my normal goblet squat. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take maybe like so it's like now I'm toed out. That's a choice I'm making. If you want to be toes forward, also fine. You choose. My chest stays upright. I'm gonna squat down, come back up. So from the side, from the side, I'm here, I'm here. Doing 15 squats. You can face whatever direction you want, Arisa. Sumo is just wider than you normally squat from. So you just face one direction for the remainder of your reps.
Okay.
This actually might feel, if you have tight hips, this actually might feel like, oh, I have room to go somewhere. Um, just make sure the knees are following your toes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's too wide if, for example, it's too wide Your only option is in. There's no room for that. Right? So wide is relative to you. But if your only option is knees collapsing inwards, you know now. Just
Okay.
bring those feet in like a half step. Okay, prone T raises. So we're laying down. Okay, I'm going to tell you this and show you because I don't want to talk to the floor. Because I've done that and they're like, "What'd you say?" I'm like, um, I'm going to be laying down. My feet will be together. My hands are out to the side, a bit like a cross. Take or leave it. Or the Matrix. It's like the Matrix. Um, okay. And my thumbs will be pointed up to the ceiling. I'm going to keep my head down on the ground. If I need to, I can rest my head on something for a neutral head position. A pillow works great here. I'm going to use my avocado today. Oh, it's not be that cute. Looks like this. I'm doing 15 of these. So I'm going to lay down. I'm going to rest my head so it's neutral. Right? Thumbs, and then like this.
All right.
Without collapsing my shoulder.
All right.
My shoulders are staying behind my pec as I lift my thumb. Okay? 15 times.
Okay. 15. All right. All right. Oh wait, I have my book from last week. I can just use that. Okay.
Great. Just to rest your head so you're not
Okay.
acting your chin.
Yes. All right. Oh. All right.
Thumbs up. T shape, hence the name. And probably feel it in the, I would say, back of the shoulder, upper back, but not neck. Okay? Feel it in your neck. I think we've deviated somewhere a little.
Okay.
And the height of your hands, not important. Feet stay down though.
Okay.
Keep the feet on the floor. So we're just moving the thumbs.
Okay.
Very small range of motion.
And thumbs are facing up. Okay.
Thumbs are like you're giving the ceiling a thumbs up.
Okay. All right.
And then finally, I wrote 12 dead bugs.
Yeah.
Pick your piece of choice.
All right. 15. No, 12.
12.
12.
I know, odd, right? But it's okay. You can make it 15. I just didn't want an odd number of dead bugs
Oh, right.
because that feels weird. Didn't like that.
And
So it could be 14 or 16. Just, I don't like 15.
all right. And I have baby weights. Okay.
Good. Nice job. So while Reese's doing her dead bugs, explain them. We'll be on our backs. Low back is on the ground. Okay. I'm gonna just, if it helps, you can kind of gently tilt the pelvis just a little. If you tend to do this, tilt pelvis, knee over hip, right? Make sure you can keep a brace from kind of your pubic bone to your rib cage here. So meaning we're not grabbing from the hip flexor.
Right.
And this might be it today. Okay, 90 degrees, right? If I feel comfortable, maybe I move my legs. I keep my legs bent. You can kick your legs out. You can go opposite leg. You can go the same side, right? If your knee tends to come inwards, hold that knee in place. And that gives this side a jog, while this side can focus. That kind of helps me not bring the knee in towards my chest, because that's sort of a sneaky way to create stability without having to work too hard. Let's do that.
Okay.
Well, whatever you can do in 3 minutes.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay.
So I'm not worried about how much you get through, Arisa. Just, you know,
Okay. All right.
like I said, today's a little more explanation heavy.
Okay.
So hence the,
All right. And knees over the toes. All right.
yeah. And with this sumo, you might feel slightly more lateral glute and maybe a little more inside of the leg.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
not. But it's okay if you don't feel it down the back of your leg and down the front of your quads directly like you would expect normally. I haven't found a better name for sumo, but that's just what it's called. So I don't know if there's an alternative name for that.
No. But I have been to several sumo matches live, and they do definitely do the wide stance
Yeah.
thing.
They're also incredibly good athletes.
They are. You would never know how nimble they are. They're very large, and they smell like baby powder.
That I didn't expect that actually.
And then you walk by them in the corridor, and you're like, "Oh, hello." And
My
like
friends
that,
watch
they're very
random YouTube
young.
videos, and one specifically on like sumo wrestling training. They train hard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it feels like endurance sport.
It's
Like the number of hours they're training.
it's very old school. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a whole apprenticeship system. Yes.
Yeah. And this particular, I don't know, I don't want to say documentary, but kind of
Oh, okay.
following this one, there's only like one white guy.
Oh yeah, there's a few these days. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, but in this particular community, there's one. And he's a big dude, but amongst the other guys, he's like itty bitty. Like if I stood next to him, I'd be like, "Whoa, you're big." But him next to those other dudes, he's like, "What?" He's average. It's all relative. When I was rowing, I was like, "Oh, only 6'2". Hmm. Like 6'2" is kind of short.
yeah.
6'3", all right, you're getting there. 6'4", okay. 6'5", okay. Now we're talking about yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like professional football here. After they retire, a lot of them lose a lot of weight,
Hmm.
um, and then a lot don't, and many, yeah, have shorter lifespan and have heart disease after. So I don't know.
Well, if you've lived like a monk for 25 years, whatever, say your career,
Yeah.
and then you stop living like a monk and you're like, okay, let's go. I
And
have
they're
all the
usually
money
married.
I could want
Yeah.
and all the fame.
And they're married to models, so yeah.
And then I get divorced from models and then marry another model. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Each their own. If you're gonna use, I don't mind the dumbbells actually. Those weights seem good. Yeah, no, you're okay.
They're
As
fine.
long as the weights and you have a nice range of weights, right? You have,
Yes.
but let's say your only option is like I have a 12-pound dumbbell. A single arm might be kind of hard,
Oh,
right? So I would hold one dumbbell and move my arms together. But if you have two-letter dumbbells, I think that's totally fine. Keep your low back on the ground. Imagine if you have a towel under your back and I tugged on it, Arisa, if it can come out,
okay.
you're starting to arch your back a little bit, as in belly button up, and more of a belly button down or rib cage down sensation. So if that means the range of motion, legs and arms, is less, that's fine.
Okay. All right. I've lost count, but I'm pretty sure I've done
Well,
20.
it is, we are right on time.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're done.
All
So
right.
2 or 3, that's fine. Like I said, I did a lot of talking today, but
Yes.
I wanted to make sure
Thank you.
I'd rather over explain than under explain the stiff leg deadlifts.
And I
Because I
want
feel like that
to.
one can get dicey real fast. So do what feels best, please.
Okay.
Thank you. And don't blame me for making silly mistakes.
Well, and then I just want to make sure I'm feeling it in the correct muscles. So, yes, thank you.
Yeah. But like I said, if you have any low back concerns, just default to a deadlift shape you feel comfortable with, Romanian or otherwise, or a good morning, whatever. If you're not hinging, don't do the deadlifts. Like if you can't sit on your bike and you can't bend over to pick stuff up, not that you shouldn't, I need you to hear in person so we can talk. Otherwise, I can't help you. Um, I know 6 a.m. is hard though.
Oh, that's
On
okay.
the East Coast.
And I'm thinking, okay, run today instead of tomorrow. But
If
tomorrow,
you can,
if
if you
I,
have a swing day, it depends too. If it's just like a zone two, just like a,
I'll have to
I'm
check.
thinking like specifically sprint work or interval, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Today, I'd rather you double to, if you can, double up today
Okay.
and then a little recovery tomorrow. Because if you are sore in your hamstrings, it will kick in tomorrow, not today.
Right. Yes, I'm
Hence
definitely.
the double day today. Again, I'm not Meg. So depending on what you have programmed, just keep in mind a little hamstring fatigue is okay. Just check your hamstrings before you do anything crazy.
Okay. I will see how I feel tomorrow.
Like just try to touch your toes
Okay.
gently or reach towards the floor and see what your hamstrings do. Or if
All
you're
right.
laying in bed, do this. Just grab your leg and just see what you can.
Oh,
So that's a nice passive one. Just pick your leg up, see what you can tolerate.
all right.
And for me, that's a first thing in the morning. Don't pull. Just see what you have.
Okay.
Okay, Lisa.
All
Great work
right.
today.
Thank you. All right.
Um, I will try and answer questions if there are any later.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Bye.
See you. Bye.